That's what we get for making jokes right when we go live. Welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangouts episode 222. This is, oh man, I should have queued up some music. This is the last Hump Day Hangouts that will be on a Google Events page, but more on that. First, let's say hi to everybody. It is the 6th of February, 2019.
Well,
and we
gotta interrupt you for a minute because you said this will be the last Hump Day Hangouts. And I know some people, that's all they heard. And they're going to freak out like, what? So we're going to clarify. No, just the last Hump Day Hangout on a Google event page, guys. We're still going to do it. We'll clarify that in a minute. I just want to make sure everybody understands we're still going to keep doing Hump Day Hangouts.
Yeah, so if you dropped off right there, that might sound bad. Yeah. Hey, we'll get back into it. We got some really good announcements. Got some great stuff coming up. We're going to say hi to everybody real quick, and then we'll jump into questions after that. So I'll do the normal lineup here. Chris, how you doing today?
Doing good. Actually doing excellent, man. Hit like a new PR in the gym today. Same as yesterday, so I'm super excited. Good week. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just got
sweet.
Oh man, don't know what came over me there. Yeah, doing pretty
Speaking
good.
of which, I need a couple more t-shirts, man.
Yeah, hit me up.
What was the PR for? Like what movement?
Yesterday it was squats and today it was bench.
So you PR'd, which for those of you that don't know workout speak, that means personal record for squats and bench press. That's very good, man. Congratulations.
I figured Chris just did got a press release about his lifting.
Chris now lifts 385 pounds.
Contact Chris Pillwine for more information.
So no weight loss tips and no coaching on my end. But you can check out my Instagram. I might share a couple things there.
Awesome. Chris is one of those guys. He's in the mirror at Instagram posing, you know.
Exactly, man.
One of those guys.
Hernan, how you doing, man? Are you surviving the heat wave?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, cooled off a little bit, so it's good. I went for a run. Not as macho as you guys, you know, breaking PRs, but still broke a sweat, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited for what's coming. Excited for, you know, to be hanging out with Adam. We're gonna be scheming and plotting a lot during FHL 2019. So excited for that too.
Awesome. Me too. Me too. Marco, how you doing?
I'm living the life, man. I'm loving this shit. Fuck all of you.
I got nothing.
It's just so beautiful here, man. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's been funny. People around here were freaking out because there was snow dusting on the hills to the east. I'm in the Bay Area, and it's just hilarious. It hits like right at freezing, and people are just like, "Oh, is this the polar vortex?" Like, and then it's 50 or 60 later in the day. But that's my jam. I like it like that. So, Bradley, how about yourself?
I'm doing well, and if we ever had an invitation to be memed, Chris just did it. So Greg and Wayne, if you're out there listening, meme away, so to speak. But yeah, that said, I'm really excited too. I got lots of stuff going on. I'm just going to kind of tomorrow we got the mastermind webinar, and I'm going to be releasing all the process docs and training that I developed over the last 3 or 4 months for scaling the local lease pro method, that business model out. And so it's everything that I put together over the last 4 months that's been refined and refined again and refined again. And it's polished enough now to where, and I promised the mastermind members they were going to get it when we finished our 12-week sprint to build 50 GMB assets. And that ended on Monday. So I'm going to release everything to the mastermind members tomorrow. And in the following 12 weeks with the POFU live attendees, the people that came to our live event that joined me in the first 12-week sprint, which was to build 50 local assets, lead generation assets out. And we all hit various numbers. Specifically for my build, I hit 42 out of 50 for Semantic Mastery for our agency that we're building separately. It's not Semantic Mastery, but anyways, so I didn't quite hit 50, but I hit 42, and that's good enough in my opinion. Aim high, guys. If you aim high and you don't quite hit it, you still done good, right? And so I'm pretty proud of that. And then we had varying levels of completion or hitting that goal through the other members that joined us, and it's across the board. And I'm proud of everybody that helped me with that and participated throughout that process. But the next 12 weeks, we're going to do another sprint. By the way, these guys only paid to come to our live event one time. They were just like 24 weeks of additional training, and that was not planned. That was something that I chose to do once we were at the live event. And I'm glad, because it's given me a lot of help with, developing these processes out and getting input from other people. So it's not just 100% me. And so the next 12 weeks, now that we've got all these assets built and we have our teams that are continuing to build more assets, now we got to monetize them, right? So we've got a lot of assets now that are ready to be monetized, which means find service providers to either lease them, buy the leads, however the arrangement is that we work out. And so I'm really looking forward to getting it back into prospecting from a lead generation perspective, as opposed to a client/agency perspective, which I tried almost all of 2018 to just sell agency services, like traditional agency services, and failed miserably at that. I was pretty good at prospecting, but sucked at sales. And it's because the market, in my opinion, is so saturated with business owners being solicited to by marketing agencies. The moment they think that they're being solicited to, they put up their defenses. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. But just in the last few weeks, the lead generation business has been, the word's gotten out, and I'm actually getting inbound calls now from contractors asking for lead generation services, which is amazing, guys. So I'm telling you, the dynamic is completely different. And so I'm really looking forward to the next 12 weeks of developing out and testing all different types of prospecting methods for service providers. And I was on a mastermind call with one of our members earlier today, who was telling me about his strategy. And Scott, it was awesome. I'm going to put your strategy to the test. And I'm going to be sharing all that data in the mastermind. So anyways, I'm just really looking forward to it. Got a lot of stuff going on. Like Marco said, there's so much opportunity right now, guys. It's almost hard to sleep. So I hope you guys see the same opportunity I do.
Good deal. Good deal. And for those of you just joining us, if you're new to Semantic Mastery, the mastermind is our higher level group for people who are looking to either start or continue to grow their local digital marketing agency. That's the place to be if you're ready to take that plunge and you either want help getting started or you want to, like I said, if you want to grow it. You can find out more at mastermind.semanticmastery.com. In general, though, the first place we recommend everyone to start is with the battle plan. And you can check that out at battleplan.semanticmastery.com. And we do have an update to the battle plan coming out. It's bigger, badder, more kick-ass, and it's going to cover even more areas. So stay tuned for that. And there's going to be reasons to get it. Don't worry about getting one now and, oh, shit, should I wait and get the third one when it comes out, in February? Just get it now. Start putting it to work. You'll get an ROI, as one of our buyers even told us. He said it paid for itself in 13 minutes. And that, that was great. And, there's all the video training that goes into it, too. All this stuff is being updated. So go grab that if you haven't yet. And then something else I wanted to talk about, Bradley, you were talking about the mastermind and hopping on a call.
Yep. Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Before you get into that,
yep.
I'd like to ask people, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. I mean, it's really encouraging when I see those numbers of subscribers grow, the people that follow us, the people that it makes it worthwhile to come in here and give people all of this free information that they're getting, information that people have used to build businesses. But just, all it takes is just a tick of a button, guys. Go subscribe. Let us know that you're following us, that you're interested in what we're doing. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, definitely check it out on YouTube. We'll put the link out there. Let's see. I had a couple more short ones. So Bradley mentioned the mastermind, and then obviously MGYB is where you can get your done-for-you services like syndication networks, RSS, Drivestacks, all sorts of good stuff. What we're also adding in there, we've had a lot of people ask us for help with finding VAs, how to build their own team. And so the VA matching service, helping you build your own team, we're providing qualified VAs that we've vetted. They have given salary expectations, they're full-time, they're ready to go, and we're going to connect those with people. But right now, that's going to be limited to just the mastermind. We're going to be taking 4 orders or beta testers in. Helping them connect, giving them the best practices guide to get started with using their VAs. And then eventually we'll be offering that to other people who want that. So hopefully, if you're listening to this, that sounds interesting to you, because that is a core part of growing your business, whatever it's doing, is building that team. And we're happy to be able to do this and use the same process as we do to find our VAs and our help and get you the help you need. Real quick note, we had a great webinar with Lisa Allen. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll put the link below. Check that out, RSS Authority Sniper 3. She's added some really cool updates. Not going to go into that. just say that it's awesome and it's part of Bradley's case studies he's doing right now, which Bradley, I'll let you touch on that in a second. And then just to wrap it up, as I talked about at the very beginning with no more Hump Day Hangouts, it's no more Hump Day Hangouts on Google Events. So they are shutting down.
Wait, what? No.
They're shutting down the Google Events. We are going to get it ported over. It doesn't matter. All you need to know is keep using the same links you get to. When you get an email, click the link, come here. If you go to semanticmastery.com/HD questions, you will still go there. So we're going to get our own page set up, get stuff going so that it's seamless, and it's just going to look a little different, but hopefully it's going to be even smoother for you.
Yeah, we're going to use the Discuss app as the commenting app below the webinar. So it'll make it real clean. It'll be a nice, clean page, just like the Google Events page are. And it'll keep all the comments on, right below. And what's kind of cool about it is the comments are archived too. So instead of like every week having a separate event page, we've had in the past where the comments, like you'll be able to scroll through the comments and just look through, the questions and stuff from previous weeks as well. Once we start that. So it's, we've been doing that actually for the mastermind webinar for what, 2 years ago, guys? And it's been working really well over there. So it's going to be a seamless shift for you guys. It won't affect you guys any at all.
Good to go. All right, guys, do we got any other announcements before we dive into it?
Good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So first thing I'm going to do is grab a screen, and then I'm going to take a moment to clarify some comments I made last week that apparently I wasn't very clear on. I knew what I was trying to say, but apparently wasn't very clear in my delivery. And it caused kind of a shitstorm in that we had a whole bunch of people freaking out about, what I said about embeds. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it because I'm going to clarify my statements now and it should make sense. And for those of you that heard what I said last week and freaked out about it, I apologize for not being more clear about what I was saying. Again, in my mind, I was clear, but obviously I confused a bunch of people. So what I was talking about last week, this specifically was, and it was this dude here. I'm sorry, I can never say your name, Mayank. And again, I would love to hear how that's actually pronounced because I'm probably butchering it. He asked a question about embeds, and I had said that yes, absolutely, embeds will help to push a video. I was talking specifically about YouTube, guys. And I think people conflated what I was saying about embeds with any type of embed, including like map embeds and things like that. But what I was talking about was specifically YouTube, guys. And that was that will embeds help push a video? And I said, yes. However, mass embeds and mass links to a video that doesn't have corresponding engagement signals, which means views, comments, likes, shares, those kind of things, it can be a spam signal. I wasn't saying embeds themselves are a spam signal, and that's apparently what how it was taken. And it might have been the way I said it, whatever. Again, I apologize, but I wasn't saying embeds are spam signals, and I think that's how it came across. What I was saying was specifically for videos. If you have a video that you go out and you do thousands of embeds, right, and build thousands of links to it, and you go look at the video on YouTube or Google search and it's got 3 views, guys, is that natural? No. And we know for a fact that YouTube videos can rank purely on engagement signals now, right? We know for a fact that that's true. And I'm going to show you right now or in just a moment the proof of that, right? What I was saying was if you're going to build a bunch of backlinks and or embeds for a video, then I would recommend that you also build traffic or engagement signals. And how do you do that? Well, the easiest way is, unless you can get real organic views, is to buy views, not spam views from view bots and from view services, but buy views from Google directly. Use it from the Google Ads network, guys. You can set up Google Ads for YouTube. I just did a 2.5-hour webinar on that 2 weeks ago that I made public for $55. You can get access to it. Where I go into great detail as to how to set up these ads, specifically how to set these campaigns up to get videos to rank in search, Google search, guys. And it's from buying engagement signals directly from Google, which is perfectly legit and legal. It's encouraged, right? As opposed to buying spam views from view services that don't work anymore anyways. And so my point is, if you can still take and get results from mass embeds and from mass backlinks with videos, but watch what happens if you do backlinks and or embeds and you just inject a little bit of real traffic engagement signals into that. Everything just comes alive. It's like magic. I'm telling you. And you know, Marco's been talking about ART for 2 years, 3 years now, and that's what is it? Authority, relevancy, and trust.
Activity, relevance, trust, and authority.
Activity, relevancy, trust, and authority. There you go. And so if you're going to be doing mass embeds and things like that, guys, if you just inject a little bit of traffic signals into their real traffic signals, which you can buy directly from Google for pennies, it will make everything come alive. And so I just want to show this example real quick. This is a video, and I'm going to show a real live example here, guys, just to prove it to you. So I'll zoom in on this just briefly, but this is exact. And I clarified this in the mastermind too, because we had several people like freaking out, like, oh, I did a bunch of embeds and there's no engagement signals. Am I fucked? And I was like, no, you're okay. Your videos are still okay if you do that. But what I'm saying is if you've got a video that you've done a ton of embeds to and backlinks to or whatever, and it's not ranking yet, just go buy some traffic signals from Google and watch what happens. It'll come alive. It's like magic. And so,
yeah, but before you go on, we've never recommended just thousands and thousands of embeds.
Correct.
Anyway. We've always said slow and easy wins the race. We've never said go buy 1 million embeds. We've always said you get 25, you get 50. You see how it does. It's niche relevant, and watch it, and then you adjust accordingly. That's what we've always recommended throughout. When we were with the other company where we were providing the video and map embeds, and even what we're going to be providing now, we're not telling you go buy 1 million embeds tomorrow.
Yeah,
because
we never recommended that. Yeah,
ever. Yeah. But you know, slow and steady wins the race with anything.
But one other comment that I had made was, you know, brute force SEO, and I'm not a brute force SEO kind of guy. Marco is though, and Marco was like, well, we can get results with brute force. I said, yeah, you can. There's no doubt. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying the way that I particularly like to do things is to try to make it look more natural if possible. And that's all. And that's what I was trying to say last week, guys. And apparently I wasn't very clear, but this is the example that I wanted to show, because this is the video rank. This is for a local video production company that I've been doing, you know, wholesale. I've been providing wholesale video ranking services to them for like 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And we used to do a whole lot of it. I don't have nearly as many campaigns as we used to. But anyways, long story short, on December 28th, I took the video that they sent me. I live streamed it to my channel. It went through all the syndication networks that channel's hooked up to. That's an aged syndication network. There's multiple networks attached to that channel, and it works well. But and then I had also used some embed credits that I had from SerpSpace, which, you know, there's a VideoPowerhouse thing in there that we built when we were still part of SerpSpace. And so I had some embed credits and stuff. And for whatever reason, usually when I upload a video to rank for a client or for this company or for anybody really, usually I do the live stream to the channel. It automatically syndicates through all the networks. And then I usually immediately follow up with setting up the YouTube ad, the Google ad for video, to start injecting engagement signals so that as the embeds are getting picked up and indexed and that kind of stuff, there's automatically traffic going to them, right? Which is, again, that's the secret sauce. And it's worked for years now for me, for at least 2 or 3 years now. That's been like my magic bullet, like the trick up my sleeve, is to just immediately add the Google ad to it so that I start pushing traffic signals into it that I'm buying from Google, which you can get geo-targeted, topical relevancy topically relevant traffic. So highly relevant traffic from people that are likely to actually engage with the video too. And again, all of this was taught in the training that I did 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, actually, that's available for $55. If you're interested, just, you know, reach out to us. We'll send you the link. Okay. Anyway, long story short, for whatever reason that day I was short on time and I did not set up the YouTube ad for that. So I let it push through. And about 2 weeks later, I went to go look at where the results were, because I always tell the client it's going to take me roughly 30 days to get results. It usually doesn't take that long, but I always tell them to prepare him for it taking as much as 30 days. So 2 weeks later, I went by and I looked at it, and it had done its finished or completed its initial Google dance. You guys are aware of that, right? Where the video might show up on page 1 and then it disappears from the top 10 pages, and then it comes back on page 3 and then it disappears and it comes back again. It had finished that because I had set up the Pro Rank Tracker. I use ProRankTracker.com to track YouTube videos, rankings for YouTube videos. Anyways, I looked at the history and I saw that the initial dance period was over and it had settled on page 2 between position 12 and 15. It was steady bouncing between 12 and 15. So 12, 13, 14, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So I went then and set up the ad because I was like, okay, now it's on page 2. And I went and looked and I was like, oh, that's why there's no ad. I looked at the view count and I think there was like 4 views at the time. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to set up the ad. So I set up the ad for that. And that was on a Friday or a Thursday, excuse me. And it takes about 24 hours for a YouTube ad to get approved. Sometimes it's less, but most of the time it takes roughly 24 hours. And so I set up the ad for this. And I looked at it on Monday. So it had been running for roughly 3 days or 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on Monday is when I looked. And by Monday, it had generated, I think, 86 views. And boom, it was on page 1. And guys, it's been on page 1 ever since. And that's what I'm saying about like just injecting traffic into that video after it had already been embedded. I prefer to do it while the embeds are like just occurring. Like before they even index, I like to start sending traffic. But in this case, I did it, you know, kind of backwards to where I had all the embeds go out and I had sat for 2 weeks before I set up the ad. But as soon as I injected traffic, guys, boom, to page 1, and it's been there ever since. And here are the YouTube stats. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Let's see, how do we zoom in on this shit? Not letting me. Okay, well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but here's the YouTube stats for just the last 30 days. And you can see that that's this same video, guys. My average cost per view, 7 cents. My budget is 50 cents a day, guys. Look at that. You see that? 50 cents a day. Like, who can't afford that? And I usually start off with $1 per day, but I backed it down to 50 to this point. And you can see that I've spent $23 in the last 30 days to keep that video ranked. I've actually got 332 views in the last 30 days. And my, I've actually generated 6 clicks. Right. So those are 6 clicks because the targeting that I have set up for that, I've got the geographic targeting set up for about 30 or 40, or I think a 30-mile radius from the shop, the Warrenton Auto Service shop. So all the clicks or views that are coming through are from people within that service area. Right. And they're an in-market audience for people that were looking for auto repair services. So it's highly relevant traffic. And Google knows that traffic is in the in-market audience for auto repair services. So it knows it's a relevant audience that's viewing this video. That's what causes it to rank, guys, because it's not like just getting random views from anywhere in the country or globally. These are views that are geo-targeted from an audience that Google recognizes and knows is in market for that service. So it's a highly weighted view, and it's pennies, guys. Average cost per view is at 7 cents. You get that? So that's what I was trying to say. So hopefully that clarified anything. If anybody has any questions about that, just post them on the event page. I'll be happy to answer it. Okay. You want to comment on that before I move on, guys? No? Okay. Moving on.
No, I think that was pretty clear. Thanks.
Elena says, Bradley, in reference to using the Citation Builder Pro software you mentioned in the Local Lease Pro training, how do you get the first post URL of your GMB profile again? Easy, Elena. Log into the GMB profile and go to posts, and you'll see the published post. If you're using the Citation Builder Pro software, once it's been published through the post scheduler, you can also grab the link from inside the dashboard of the post scheduler. There's a little link icon to the right column of the post, and you can grab the link from that too. Okay. So very, very simple. That's all you need to do. You can, or you can go do a Google search for the brand name of that GMB, and in the knowledge panel on the right side of the screen, in the knowledge panel, you'll see your post. Click on the post. It will expand like a pop-up window, and you can grab the share. You click the share button on that, and then grab the share link from that. That's your GMB post URL. It's a very, very simple process. Okay. Will says, I noticed that for GMB posts, there is room for 1,500 characters to write a post, and yet in the Local Lease Pro training, you use only a handful of characters to complete a post. Shouldn't we try to write longer posts to convert more keywords in our copy so we can rank for those keywords too? Or is there a point in diminished return when we write a longer piece of content text that yields no benefits? That's a good question, Will. Honestly, I haven't been testing long form copy because for me, and again, I know Marco and Rob, I think, have done some testing there. So I'll have Marco comment on that in a minute. But for me, it was more about activity and consistency. In other words, we post the short little posts because the way that I look at GMB posts as more like call to action type posts. And that's why I called all of the templates that I created for Local Lease Pro CTA templates, call to action templates, because it's just an image with a, we inject a keyword or 2 or 3, whatever, that sounds, it's worded to where it reads well. And then we have a call to action, and we do more posts. In other words, we do higher volume of posts. Instead of doing long copy posts and only, a couple a week, we do 1 post per day or 2 posts per day that are much, much shorter. Because I also think it's, when somebody's looking for tree services, they don't care to read a freaking article just to get the contact information. They want to do a search, find a tree service company, and call them to come out and provide an estimate. It's not about, and I get what you're saying about, injecting more keywords and all that kind of stuff, but you can do that by just doing more posts too. So that's been my methodology. I haven't really tested long form content because it's more work, really, and I'm able to get results without it. But that said, Marco, what has been your experience with that?
We started out doing the long form, right? Taking up all the space in all of the posts. I know for a fact that Rob, he just likes to use the short form. However, lately what we've been doing is intermixing. We've been doing the long and the short, right? Never in any set pattern, because Google catches patterns. But I've found, and from what other people are telling me, it gets really good results when you use long form. That's the way that when this started out, when it was originally conceptualized, back when I was doing, and I'm still doing the New York attorney project. I'm still with her. She's not going anywhere, trust me. It was all long form, and it has been to this day. The writers do nothing except long form posts. Now what we take care to do is that in the image there's a call to action, and in the first few lines there's a call to action, right? And the button is always a call to action button, because to me that's what works. The person seeing it, they might want to read the rest, but I could care less if the person reads the rest. If they take action, fine. But I want all of that content for the bot.
Sure.
I mean, that's all I'm concerned about. I want them to have all of that relevance, all of it. I could be writing about something locally, man, events. I'm not going to get too much into this because I'm not giving it away. But there's so much that you can write about to create relevance inside that post, to trigger just everything, to relate your GMB to everything that's going on in whatever your local is, that you can get amazing results if you do it correctly. And I think that this calls for an update webinar sometime in Local GMB Pro, because you can get some fantastic stuff going if you mix it up right.
There you go. So there you go. There's 2 sides of that coin, Will. I just haven't tested with long form copy because I really haven't had the time, and I've been able to get results for the types of industries that I've been working in without it. So, I've always been an advocate of doing the absolute bare minimum to get results, guys. I say that all the time. And so I'm able to do that in the industries I'm in and still get results. There's no need for me to do the long form copy. Eventually I may test that, but for right now it's still working, and I've got the processes already developed. My team handles all that. And since it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type stuff. You know what I mean? So eventually I may test that though.
I like that, but if you remember the deal that I made with my attorney is it had goals. It had goals that I had to meet as far as call volume, and so I had to keep increasing the call. I didn't have to just show a steady stream of calls. I had to continually increase the call volume in order to get her to pay more and more and more and more and more. So each time we reached one of the call goals, the monthly went up, and it has gone up. I mean, you'll reach a saturation point where you just can't do anymore, but you also want to keep it up there. And I'm not changing anything that got me up there, right? Sure. I'm not going to try changing it and then have it fall off and say, well, this month I'm paying you less. That's not going to happen. So I'm trying to avoid that at all costs.
Okay, Mike's got several questions here just for future reference. I really appreciate you coming and asking questions, man. That's exactly what we encourage you guys to do. Just for future reference, though, it's only fair to post like 1 or 2 questions and then wait until other people post to post some more questions, just because it's not fair to like take up too much time. That said, I'm going to run through these really quickly, guys, okay? So the first one is need help with the following questions. For increasing power to a syndication network, should we use this SerpSpace tiered link building service? Yeah, you can. That's our you know, Dedia, who's been with me for 6 years now. He's amazing. He's a link builder. He's absolutely amazing. We're going to be launching that in our store, MGYB, in the next few weeks. I think it's like the next product that's coming. Is that correct, Marco?
That's correct.
Okay. Any ETA when that's going to be available?
Within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So that said, within the next 2 weeks, we're going to have Dedia working in our, you know, it'll be available in MGYB. So, but in the meantime, yeah, absolutely. It's the same guy. So no question. Number 2 is, can you talk about where RSS Authority Sniper fits into the video SEO plan as laid out in the battle plan? Should this be an add-on to everything else we were supposed to do for video SEO? It doesn't have to be, but it can certainly help. What I like about, you know, guys, to be clear, RSS Authority Sniper is the software. It's a software that helps you find RSS feeds that are relevant. That's what that does. It's a one-time fee. It's a software that would just help you to find relevant feeds, and it kind of like will create the feed, the spliced RSS feed from the different content feeds that you find. The magic of it is the subscription, which is the add-on service, which is Rank Feeder, RANKFEEDR. We can drop a link for that. That's when you create the spliced feed that goes on the Rank Feeder server that serves that RSS feed, and then that's where the magic happens. It's not the RSS Authority Sniper. That's just a tool. The magic is from the feed that is created, that is hosted in Rank Feeder, right? And what you do with that feed, which is an SEO tool. And it's an incredibly powerful yet simple SEO tool. And that's what I love about it, guys. It doesn't have, you know, people like complicated stuff because it makes them feel smart and fancy and shit. I like simple stuff. And the RSS Rank Feeder creates these really powerful SEO RSS type feeds by combining relevant and authoritative feeds with your own content, and so that it creates what's called co-citation. And essentially, you are siphoning authority from all of the relevant content that you surround your content with within these feeds. And so it's super, super powerful. And if you're doing any local video ranking, what she released in this newest version of it is geotagging. You can add geographic data to the feeds, so that's really, really powerful for local. And so I've got a case study going on with that right now where I'm testing for GMB assets. But for videos, it's the same thing. And what's really cool about it is you can actually take a video, just a video URL, and add it to, if you've got the front end software, RSS Authority Sniper, and it will pull in the RSS feed from YouTube from that video. In other words, the RSS feed for the channel that video comes from. And now you can use either that individual video as part of your feed, or you can use the channel feed if there's a bunch of relevant videos. So in your case, Mayank, since you're going to be having channels that you're going to be hosting videos on for video SEO services, you could add your channel feed as one of the content feeds that you create a spliced super feed from, for a Rank Feeder feed from, right? Along with relevant content. When I say relevant, I mean topically relevant as well as geographically relevant if it's for local. So how do you do that? Well, for example, you could go look at, you know, for your local, the town, the city that you're ranking, you know, you want to rank the video for. You can go find the local government, municipality website, see if it's got an RSS feed. If it doesn't, you can still add it as a sticky or a static item in the feed. You can find local blogs. You can find local event calendars that have RSS feeds, and you could squeeze all them RSS feeds into one and create a spliced Rank Feeder feed that then you add the geotagging into, which you can add specific coordinates, or you can add what's called a box, which is like a service area type business where it will show it will basically add the geographic relevance from a service area instead of a single map point. There's all this really cool stuff that you can do with it. So what I would suggest, Mike, and yes, it can absolutely help with video SEO, guys, and it's all done and it's automated. Other than setting up the feed itself, which is a simple process, and that's what RSS Authority Sniper will help you do in a step-by-step fashion. But you honestly don't even need the front end product. You could just do it from the Rank Feeder dashboard, which is the subscription-based product. And from there, once you set up the feed, it just runs on autopilot. And what I suggest doing is going to Fiverr and using an RSS submit gig cost you $5 to get an RSS feed submitted. The super feed that you create that's hosted on RankFeeder, you take that feed, go to Fiverr, search for RSS submit. You'll find a gig. I use one that, it's 70. It submits to 70 aggregators and feed aggregators and directories. And that's it. It costs $5. You send the link, it's done. 2 days later, you've got it submitted, and then it just works on autopilot. You don't have to do anything else with it. So that's what I like about it. It's an automated way to continually inject both topical and geographic relevance, and create co-citation for whatever content you want to siphon authority to, if that makes sense. Very, very powerful, and it's a simple tool. That's why I like it. The Video SEO Battle Plan doesn't mention syndication networks and Drivestacks. Can you talk about that? Where do these fit in to the steps laid out in the battle plan? Well, syndication networks, you just connect them to your channel. I'm sure you already know that, Mayank. So the Video SEO Battle Plan, yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm not familiar with what that part of it says, but it should say that you would want to connect your channel to a syndication network, because that's just automatic syndication and embedding and backlinks and social signals and bookmarks and all of that just from uploading a video. Okay. Drivestacks. I've never really used Drivestacks for video SEO. Marco may have. I have not. I've only used Drivestacks for pushing web pages, websites, and like GMB assets, but not for video specifically. Marco, what about that?
We've used it in conjunction, and it works like crazy.
Okay.
It really does because you're creating the three parts of art, right? Activity, relevance, trust, and authority. So if you're embedding a Google property on a Google property, it's only going to benefit. I mean, you can't go wrong with doing it either way you do it. And we always embed a video anyway into our Drivestacks. It's part of the process. And why wouldn't you do that on the G site that you're creating and create that relationship between your YouTube channel and the G site and the Drivestack and back and forth? It's just, yeah, do it by all means. It really worked for the stuff that we were doing.
I could see also linking, for example, without getting too far into the weeds, I could also see using Drivestacks to promote an entire channel as well as playlists. Because guys, remember, YouTube Silo Academy, it's about how to silo a YouTube channel just like you would silo a website. And that's incredibly powerful for video SEO. It's simple, but it's powerful. And so you could theme mirror your Drivestack like we talk about doing with websites, but you could do that with your YouTube channel as well, so that you have, you're basically mirroring the silo from your channel into a Drivestack. And I think that would be very powerful. I haven't done any testing there, but I'm sure it would work, because again, it's Google promoting Google. Right? Well,
yeah, I'll tell you right now, we stopped working in the niche, which is why I mentioned it. But we got videos ranked in the gold niche. Okay. Awesome. That's how powerful it is.
He says, if I have my YouTube channel connected to a tiered syndication network, do I still need to go with VideoPowerhouse embeds? You can. See, that's the thing. Again, we like I said, do the bare minimum to get results. So what I wouldn't recommend syndicating a video to your network and then immediately going and ordering 300 embeds. It doesn't make sense. You might not need that. You might get the results just from your syndication network. So why waste the embeds, right? And the additional effort. So what I would recommend, and this is how, guys, I've always done this, besides adding the YouTube ad into it, the Google ad into the process. Whenever I've done video SEO stuff, and I've been doing it for years, I would just let it go through my networks, and I would give it 2 weeks before I would do anything else. Because a lot of the times the networks alone, especially once your networks are aged and they are themed well, which means they have a lot of relevant videos and all that kind of stuff on there, they become more powerful over time. And so a lot of the times just syndicating a video to the network alone would help it to, it would rank within 2 weeks. So I wouldn't have to do anything else. But if it didn't rank within 2 weeks, then I would go and I would order like 50 embeds, right? 50 embeds. And I would drip those out over 14 days. I would select the drip option for 14 days. And then at the end of 2 weeks, I would go check it again. And again, when I say check it, I just go look at Pro Rank Tracker, because it made it easy to look and see what the results were. And if it needed some more, then I'd push some more in there. But I'm telling you, the real magic is going to also come from injecting real traffic and engagement signals, which you can buy directly from Google for pennies, guys. So You know, I'm not saying don't do embeds. I'm not saying that at all. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, you know, that is the secret sauce now for me, is to just buy engagement signals, because we know that YouTube will rank on engagement signals alone. So you combine those 2 or 3 components, embeds and backlinks and traffic engagement signals. Those 3 together are going to make it happen. Okay. For powering up YouTube playlist channel, should we use SerpSpace tiered link building service? Again, that's what I just said. That's the same thing that, you know, we're going to have available in MGYB, but yes, you can do that too. But remember, again, it's more about, in my opinion, you can do that as well, right? You can do that too, but I would focus more on engagement signals is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. You can do both. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose one over the other, I would probably do engagement. I don't know. I just do both. Why? Because I don't have to choose one or the other. Do both. And that's where I'm seeing the most results. Okay. Do V2 users get an upgrade for free to Battleplan V3? And I would say no, but am I wrong?
Nope, it's not free, but your ROI is there. We keep this priced low on
Super
purpose.
low.
And we're going to do our best to keep it there.
Yeah, it's priced so low, guys. Mike, you can afford it, I promise. Tim says, hi.
Yeah.
By the way,
Hey,
question.
Bradley, hang on a second. Before when you read the next question, include what was added by Adam above, because he commented in YouTube, and I would like this answered all at once.
Where did Adam comment on that?
Scroll up. I posted a picture. You'll see it. Keep going up.
Oh, okay. Sorry to jump in with a downer question. I was looking in Drivestacks. We're going to buy your course. Got told by someone over at SerpSpace that Drivestacks aren't really effective anymore. Tim Thompson said Google set all links to nofollow. Doesn't matter. It's a Google property. But you want to comment on that, Marco? I'll let you take that one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we've been trying not to knock SerpSpace, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, we work with them. We left. We each went our way. They're doing their thing, and I'm doing ours. Now,
There should be no ill will there.
there is absolutely none on my part, but if, and remember that I'm using a conditional if it's true that somebody in SerpSpace said that Drivestacks don't work because the links are no follow, then they can kiss my ass, because they're absolutely fucking wrong and don't understand the basic principle behind RYS Academy Reloaded. We don't rely on those motherfucking do follow links, man. Read the fucking course. Read my shit. Go read the fucking black book, you motherfucker, you. If you said it. Now, if you didn't, please excuse me. Tim may have misinterpreted it.
Yeah,
But,
that could be it.
I went there and I said it. If you did that, then it's on. Show me my shit doesn't work. Don't tell me, because I can show you 1,000 examples where my shit's working. Fuck you. Not you,
Wow.
Tim.
Well, tell us how you really feel. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, they work. In fact, I've got, I can show this. I've got GMB off-page SEO tests that I'm doing right now in isolation, guys. These are the 9 different tests that I'm doing right now, specifically to move a Google My Business asset that using all of these different off-page SEO methods in isolation. In other words, I'm testing each one of these where that's the only thing I'm doing besides the on-page is these off-page things here, what I've got listed right here. I'm doing all of these right now. I've got multiple tests going right now because I just told you guys we've been building out assets like crazy, and I got a ton of them that need help, right? They're not ranking yet. They're not producing. So I'm testing all these different methods to figure out which ones produce the best results, move the needle the most. And then from there, I'm going to set up tests to start combining the methods to see which combinations move the needle. So this is going to be a longer term process where I'm going to be testing all these things so that I can really figure out what the magic combination is, right? That's what I'm trying to do, because I want to be able to provide the same instructions or the same kind of roadmap or battle plan, if you will, for you guys so that you can get results too. And you can see the Drivestack was number 2. Okay. And I had 2 Drivestacks, because every one of these I'm testing on 2 different properties, because if we see the same result on 2 properties, we know that it's likely going to occur on a 3rd or 4th test. If we see a good on 2 properties for the same test, and we see good results on one and and poor results on another, well, then it's inconclusive and we need to test further anyways. If we see 2 with poor example or poor results, then we know it's likely that it's not going to work for a 3rd or a 4th. So that's what I'm doing right now. And so for Drivestacks, I've got 2 assets that I've got set up, and I ordered the Drivestacks. They're about just over the 3-week mark now, which is usually when it takes 21 days or so before you start to see any movement at all from a Drivestack. And I've already seen a significant jump in one of my GMB assets from a Drivestack. I'm not going to show you those here, guys, but I again, all of this case study data is going to be released in the mastermind as I have it. And a Drivestack absolutely will move a Google My Business asset. Why would it? Well, because it's another Google property. I don't give a shit whether it's follow or no follow links, guys. I stopped caring about that a long time ago. Yes, you can still get better. You can do certain things with a do follow link that you can't with the no follow link. But does that mean no follow links don't help ranking? No, absolutely not. It does absolutely help. And how do I know? I had somebody do a negative SEO to me on well, not to me, but a client's website, and they did 100% anchor text, exact match anchor text links that were all no follow. And guess what? We ranked #1 for that keyword. He screwed up apparently. And we know for a fact that YouTube links are no follow links within the descriptions and such. Yet YouTube Silo Academy works. Why? Because even though it's a no follow link from one YouTube video to another in the description, it's a YouTube link into YouTube. So there's, I don't know whether PageRank passes through that or not, but Google still treats that, and it still will move the needle, whether it's a do follow or no follow. So again, I wouldn't get so caught up in that anyways, really.
And by the way, we have the million link case study into a Drivestack to rank in a major metropolitan area, in one of the most competitive niches in that area. You're aware that I think we've shared it in the mastermind. You know what it is, man, and it's ranking to this day with the porn links in the link profile. So we have indexed porn links, and it's ranking, man. So come on, man, tell me my shit doesn't work. Kiss my ass.
There's that example again. You know, guys, that's a Drivestack at work right there, and it's been since May of 2015. We're going on 4 years now, guys. It's still there. It's Drivestack stuff. Never done anything to it ever since. Still there. 4 years later, guys, outranking all the other Virginia SEO agencies, and it's just a Drivestack that I built, a very crude one that I built on a Saturday when I first learned about it from Marco, and that was in May of 2015, and it's still there today. Nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Go.
Yeah.
Move
on.
My
shit doesn't work. Don't create more competition for yourself, man.
Michael says, "Hey guys, Marco made a comment a month or so ago that has been gnawing at me ever since." That happens often, Michael. He says, so the idea is that we maintain a firewall between us as individuals and the persona accounts we create in setting up all of our accounts. Marco said essentially that it's better in Google's eye to be a giver instead of a taker by buying Google services such as upgrading their G Suite account, etc., or buying ads. There's a lot of things you could do. You could pay for the additional storage and drive. There's a ton of things that you could do, but that is correct. How does a Google persona do that and still maintain the firewall between me and the persona account? If I pay those services using my credit card, then the firewall is broken and the footprint connection is made for Google to see. That may be so, Michael, but I can tell you I've got tons of accounts out there that still use a handful of billing options and I haven't had any issues with that. Honestly, I'm not saying that it isn't a footprint that couldn't cause some issues. I'm just telling you personally, I haven't had any problems with that. And I've got multiple accounts that use pretty much the same billing details. That said, you can also get, I know we were talking about it in the POFU live group. Adam was chatting with one of our members about using like privacy.com, or like there's those types of accounts where you can get virtual credit cards and things like that. Now, apparently the prepaid cards, Google doesn't like those. But I've used some prepaid cards in the past, or virtual cards. Like I know NetSpend is one that I've used in the past, that you could create a credit card and then get virtual card numbers to use for online services. In other words, you log in and it will give you a new unique card number that you could use for an online service, so that you're not using the same card number across multiple online services in case there was a breach, right? So it's unique and only to that one. Anyways, my point is I've used those in the past and that's worked too. So Marco, can you comment on that? Because I don't know of it really causing a footprint issue. I could see the potential for it, but I haven't experienced that.
No, I have a bunch of stuff on my card too. And I have multiple cards, so that my reference was to that. The personas, I mean, you have family, you have friends that you can reach to, and my friends don't mind because they know that I'm covering whatever I spend on their credit card for that month. It's all set, you know, to automatically repay. Now the bitch is when I have to update right to a new credit card. That gets into a mess. But of course, you should have a VA doing that. You don't do all of that. So I do protect, like, it's the same thing that I do with Google My Business Assistant. I just don't like having everything on just one card, because if something happens, then I'm screwed. But if I have multiple cards and I have multiple things going, then it's kind of protected, because Google isn't going to hit all of them all at once, especially the different names, different things. That's how I do it. Now, how you figure it out, I mean, it's up to you, Michael. There's no one way to do this thing, but you just have to figure out a way that's worked for you and where you're comfortable putting these sets of assets, right? So that it works for you.
So there you go. Like this is just getdivi.com. This is a virtual credit card with two different card types: burner cards, which are disposable credit cards, one-time usage, or subscription cards, which is probably what you would need for Google Ads type stuff. But again, you could just have to test that. But again, just do this. Go search virtual credit cards and just look through some of the offers. You know, privacy is the one that we talked about in POFU, the POFU live group, but I don't know if those work or not. Again, guys, you just go test some of these and find one that works for you. Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, I've tried using debit cards and Google won't go, or prepaid.
Yeah.
And Google won't go for those.
That's why I think you need a subscription type card, which is what Divi had, two different options. I think a subscription type card would work, but you'd have to test. I can't promise you that.
That sounds like it would work because, yeah, privacy was definitely not.
Okay. Will says, Bradley, is there a reason why I couldn't just take the RSS feed from my GMB account and then use it to trigger my IFTTT account to syndicate these GMB posts to my branded network? In other words, create all those applets to each property and off it goes. Wouldn't it add more power to my GMB posts than, or when all these tier 1 properties link to my posts? What do you think? Yeah, and Will, I answered you up here briefly, but that's exactly what Syndication Academy update webinar next Thursday, which is February 14th, Valentine's Day at 3 p.m. I'm going to be hosting the update webinar, the next Syndication Academy update webinar, and I'm specifically talking about, well, Google Plus is dead, now what? Because that was one of our big social hubs in Syndication Network, or Syndication Academy, excuse me. But then I'm going to be talking about GMB post syndication. I've been testing that. Again, that's right here. That's on my GMB post test, Syndication Networks and GMB posts. So I've been testing that, and it is working. I'm seeing some movement. So we'll talk about that during then. But yeah, you can absolutely do it. The short answer is yes. Can you? Yes, you can. Okay. Good question. Lisa says, I'm just learning about the 2 to 3 hour Google Ads YouTube video that occurred last week. Is it possible to pay for the recording of the class? Yeah, we just talked about that, Lisa. It should be still available for $55. Am I right, Adam?
Incorrect. We took it down. It's only available in the mastermind. I realized we had some confusion internally about that, but I posted up there above.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, Lisa. Come join the mastermind then. It was up, guys, for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, if the window's closed, it's closed. I just produce the training. I don't make the rules. Apparently, they do. So Frankie says, hey, guys, some help, please. Yeah, Frankie, I read through this, and I gave a brief answer there, but I did want to spend a few minutes on this, and we're running out of time, guys, and I apologize. But I do want to spend a couple minutes on this. So Frankie says, hey, guys, some help, please. Having a rather big problem. I have a rank and rent towing website for 2 to 3 years now. Today, a competitor is contacting me and said, I've only changed the location details. He said, city, county, and city of laws prohibit an operation such as yours to operate unlicensed. We will take legal action as well as communicate to the county towing regulations of your unlawful internet practices, as well as the city of whatever. We are a legitimate business and pay for licenses, insurance, and taxes. You are a fly-by-night website with nothing except selling leads. You have been warned. Is any of this true? Has anyone dealt with something like this? Should I be worried, or is this BS? Okay. I don't know whether this guy's just blowing smoke up your ass because he's a jealous competitor, or if that's really true, but you need to find out if that is true. If you're going to be operating lead generation in that industry, you need to make sure that you're complying with the laws, or else you could be potentially in trouble, Frankie. And so I would recommend that what you do. However, that said, I want to be real clear here, guys. And I started to type all this out yesterday, Frankie, but I didn't because I figured it would take me too long to type, number one, but number two, it'd be easier just to explain it. Yelp doesn't have to have proper licensing and insurance to advertise or to have a listing from a towing company. So why should your website have to have proper licensing? Well, because if you're using a pseudo brand, a generic name brand, that company, that generic or pseudo brand company, fake company essentially, is not licensed, doesn't have proper insurance. But if you have a service provider that you have a good working relationship with, what is a good working relationship? Well, to me, that's a service provider that has been paying on time, that I have good rapport with, right? I communicate well with, and that pays on time, essentially. As long as you have a good working relationship with the towing provider that you're selling the leads to, why not just rebrand the website for them? Rebrand it, put their name on it, put their logo on it, keep your tracking number on it, but put their license number in the footer and all that. Do all the stuff that is required to comply with those laws with their, if they're a licensed towing contractor or towing company, they're going to have all the proper licensing and everything. Which, by the way, if you're selling leads to companies that require licensing, guys, make sure they have licensing. Like, I don't sell tree service leads to companies that don't have contractor's license. You see what I'm saying? And proper insurance, liability insurance and all that stuff. That's one of the things I require from the contractors I sell leads to, because I don't want that to ever come back and bite me in the ass. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, Frankie, it could be just a jealous competitor, but it's in your best interest. Ignorance is not an excuse, right? And so you should find out if that's true. And then also, like I said, if you have somebody that is licensed and insured and all that, then why not just rebrand it for them, right? You still own the domain. You still maintain control of the website. You maintain control of the tracking phone number, but you put their brand, their logos, maybe their address on it, but it would be your phone number, right? And then put their licensing number or whatever is required to be displayed on the marketing collateral for that type of business. Just like, realtors have to have their license number, financial institutions or, have to have all kinds of regulation stuff in the footers of their sites. You may have to do the same thing. That's the easiest fix that I can tell you. Otherwise, get the hell out of that industry. And just so you guys know, one of the first lead gen sites I ever created, the first 2 lead gen sites I ever created, one was for carpet cleaning, one was for locksmiths in the state of Virginia. And I found out very similarly to what Frankie's saying, that there's a ton of regulations in the locksmith industry. And I don't know if it varies state by state, but in Virginia, it's heavily regulated. And so I found out, fortunately, I found out before it had caused any damage. And I just basically took the site down and I just abandoned it. Okay. So does anybody want to comment on that? Okay, moving on. All right, we'll try to answer another 1 or 2, and then we're going to wrap it up, guys, because we're almost at the 60-minute mark. So Mike has another one. He says, a question about keyword research. How do you evaluate keyword difficulty? I'm using ahrefs, and they show a lot more keywords than other tools, but their keyword difficulty score seems to be way off the mark. Mike, I got to be honest with you, man. I don't trust tools and their competition metrics. I honestly don't. I test. I stopped following tool metrics for keywords and stuff a long time ago. I don't care. I just go test. And I know you're doing video SEO. So how hard is it for you to just run a campaign, a spam campaign, a video? It's called keyword poking, right? Just go poke the keywords that you want to, instead of relying on tools and what their proprietary metrics are, right? It's just proprietary metrics. It might be well-educated proprietary metrics, right? But they're still proprietary metrics. Just go test. Just run a spam campaign, a poking campaign for all the keywords you want to check, and just go determine which ones are easy to rank for by the results. That's my opinion. Anybody else have a different opinion? Okay, you guys are quiet. Mike says, should we be sending links to entity stacks or branded rings once they sit a bit, or should we be filling more content on things like Blogspot? Should we be sending links to an entity stack or branded ring once they sit a bit? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misread the question. Yeah. I mean, usually I would wait until there was a few pieces of content posted, what I call seasoning the networks, before I would start hammering it with links, guys. That's should be in the battle plan, by the way, because that's standard operating procedure. I've talked about that many times, about like the order and the timeline of which I would apply our methods. And so typically I'd order the Syndication Network while my blogger is preparing the content at least 3. Well, I always said 3 to 5 posts. My blogger would prepare content for 3 to 5 posts that once the syndication network came back, she would schedule the post to go out, and we drip out 3 to 5 posts over the course of, 1 to 2 weeks. And then during that time, I would order the link building package while the posting is being done over that 1 to 2 week period, because there's obviously a delay from the time we order to the time the links start being built to the time the links get submitted for indexing. And so usually by the time the link building campaign was completed, the first initial batch of posts had been posted, which had seasoned the network. So it seems a bit more natural. Again, guys, I try to do things more naturally now than I ever did in the past. And it just seems to work well. And that's typically how I would do it. So yes, you can send links to it, but I would recommend that you season your network a bit first. Send some activity, consistent activity through it, but via publishing. Okay. Also, should we be filling more content on things like blogspot? Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by that, other than when you first get the network, if you've ordered it from us, it should already have one piece of seed content on it. If it doesn't, then you should, if you're building it, I mean, then you should be adding a piece of seed content when it's built. Otherwise, it could just look spammy to begin with. And I also don't recommend, and that's part of the reason, by the way, guys, we add a piece of seed content from our networks, because I don't recommend that you have a brand new Web 2 network or property that you automatically start syndicating posts to, because that can get your accounts terminated. It's better, because remember, Web 2s don't like automated publishing. Most platforms don't like automated publishing. So that's why we put a piece of seed content on there, because by the time you get the network back, that piece of seed content has been on, published on that particular property for a few days, at least, before you start publishing automatically via IFTTT. So I recommend that you do that. Just put some seed content on it and let it sit for a few days. Let it marinate. And then you can just add additional content through syndication. That's what I recommend. Okay. Where can you get a t-shirt? Come join the mastermind. There you go. I think we're almost done. YouTube ads. Yeah, I wish we could do that, honestly. That was a really good course, man. But I don't make the rules. I just make the training. Michael says, can one of you, oh, there you go. See all these people asking for it. Wow. We might have to open that up, Adam. Might have to twist your arm. Is he still here?
About that. Just kidding.
You might have to twist your arm. We got a lot of people asking about this YouTube ads webinar again, man. All right. Jay says, Brad, I got to go, guys. I'm going to try to answer just this. Yeah, look at this. Another 55. Wow. We might have to open that up, guys. If we're going to do it, it'll be for like a limited window. I'm going to answer Jay's question. Will be the last one. Bradley, just want a clarification on your AdWords YouTube branding campaign. Is there a correlation that they improve maps rankings, or is that dependent on where the traffic is directed? Maps listing homepage. Yeah, Jay. And I kind of covered that in that training that I was just talking about, which apparently is closed right now. But yeah, I mean, specifically the training was about how to rank the video. But at the very, very end of it, I talked about what you can do with that, because the traffic from those videos, if you have your targeting set up correctly, which is super, I mean, I'm telling you guys, the targeting options inside Google Ads has gotten really, really, really good. I mean, really good. And so you're buying traffic from a relevant audience, guys. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's great. And that's what makes it work so well, is because Google knows that audience. They're Google users. Google has them in specific buckets, right? They know that they're within a specific geographic area. They know that they're in market for particular services or products. And if you have a video that you are, so my long story short, I was talking about doing it specifically for ranking videos, but at the very end, I talked about how if you do have a relevant audience that you're targeting, then you will get clicks. I just showed you in the screenshot, which I must have closed down, that I didn't get a lot of clicks, but remember, those clicks are heavily weighted, guys, because it's highly relevant. And so you can send the clicks, the target URL within the ad itself. So when, the destination URL, when they click the link in the ad, where does it take them? You can direct that to a GMB map, right? Or GMB post, GMB website, whatever you want. Okay. And so that's what depends on where you want to send the traffic. But can it? Yeah, guys, because you're injecting relevant traffic and engagement signals to whatever property you want. And, I'm doing almost everything exclusively inside Google ecosystem now because of GMB stuff. I'm not even building WordPress sites now. I mean, I hope to not have to build them again, but I'm sure it'll happen. So, All right.
Yeah. Before you go on, I have a follow up since I saw that post again. If there is someone saying this stuff, I wish that person would come to me, not with rhetoric, because anyone can say anything, and I just said whatever the fuck I wanted, because I can. But that's nothing. Come and show me that it doesn't work. That when it's done the way that I show and how I show, it's irrelevant. It doesn't push. It doesn't create what I say it does. That's all I'm saying. If in fact there's someone saying that, just come to me, because we can solve it. We can work through it. I'll apologize. I'll come live and say, look, what I've been teaching for the past 5-6 years is wrong. I'm wrong. But I mean, we have the data to back up everything that we've said about our RYS, Drivestacks, G sites, and the power that they push. We know because we test. We don't just talk. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, guys, the things that we teach, I mean, it's real world stuff. You know, we all have our own agencies or businesses outside of Semantic Mastery, and so I test things on my own properties, lead gen assets, and in clients. If I can get results from my lead gen assets that I can repeat, then I apply them to client properties. And if I can get results there, then I teach about it here or in Mastermind and various other platforms. But that's it. I mean, like everything that we do is it's not theory. It's been tested. And, you know, guys, remember, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So what we teach isn't the only way. There's other ways to do shit too. You know, I don't like it when, and again, I don't know if that comment was made or not. I just, you know, I'm not talking shit about any other SEO out there or other groups, especially ones that we were partners with. And I would expect the same courtesy from others. You know, I made a mistake a few months ago about commenting on a comment that was posted in a Hangout or a Hump Day Hangout about something that Josh Brzezinski said. And I spoke out of turn because I didn't clarify or confirm that that comment was even true. And I spoke about it and I shouldn't have. And I apologized the next week because I felt that that was wrong. I just, like I said, I'm not going to talk shit about other people because I realize that other people's methods can work too. See what I'm saying? But to come out and say that Drivestacks don't work, well, then just, I agree with Marco, just show where they don't, because we have a lot of proof that shows that it does. And so until, and again, just because it doesn't work in one application doesn't mean it won't work for others. And that's all I'm saying. So hopefully there won't be a shitstorm from that. Because you know what they say, don't start none, won't be none.
I could care less if there is. They can just come to me.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Come to me. Let's work through it. And if we can't, let's find another way to do it. I'm all about it, man.
All right, everybody. No more Google Plus. Rest in peace, Google Plus. Let's all have a drink for it. And we'll see you guys next week on the new page, the new event page, which same link, guys, semanticmastery.com/HD questions, but it'll be a different format. Okay, so we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.